Hello, hello. Welcome to Mile 17, the podcast. My name is Colton Lord, and I am your host. Thank you so much for being here and for trusting me to build this community and just being interested and listening to what I have to say. I got the inspiration for this podcast just because I really wanted to build a community. I really love conversation. I love openness and being honest and just being raw and figuring out, what we're all going through and how we all navigate things so differently and how we can just learn from each other and grow. Society wants us to believe that even if we're different, that we can't all live as one and just respect each other and have different views and still have, good conversations that we can take little tidbits from each other and each other's experience and utilize it in our own lives. So, little backstory, I ran the Boston Marathon last year. Actually, it was this year. Wow, it's still 2023. I ran it in April of 2023. Absolutely amazing experience. I really recommend anybody that is physically able to just go through that process, whether it's a local marathon or if it is something like the New York City Marathon, the Boston Marathon. I, in fact, did not qualify. So if that's what you're thinking, that I'm some badass marathon runner, that is not the case. I did not have to qualify because I ran with a charity organization, Team BMC, which is Boston Medical Center. It was very difficult to fundraise, but it was an amazing feeling to be able to just kind of give back to this community that I now live in. So Mile 17 is really just representative of a pivotal moment during the marathon for me when I really wanted to give up. That is where I saw my family and my friends that were cheering me on. We exchanged hugs, kisses, tears. It was such a rush, such a euphoric feeling, adrenaline rush. But as soon as I left them, it was like reality slapped me in the face. It was raining. My inner thighs were rubbed completely raw. My nipples were chafed. It hurt so bad. My legs, just with every single step, was like glass was just cutting through them. And, during my training, I had only ran like 10 miles at most in one run because I had been battling some injuries. My body had just like never been put through that kind of training before. So it was kind of terrible. But by the glory of this universe or whatever higher power there is, my injuries that I dealt with the whole time were kept at bay. I don't know if it was adrenaline or what, but it was not the injuries that had been bothering me during my training that was hurting during the marathon. But yeah, that was tough. I kept telling myself like, oh, it's okay. Like you've made it so far. Like, every mile after 10, it was the furthest I'd ever ran. So I kept telling myself, it's okay. You've done great, Colin. Like just walk. It's okay if you sit down. Like it's not a big deal. But there was this little voice in the back of my head that kept saying like, no, keep going. One foot in the front of the other. You are going to be so proud of yourself and you can do this. Just keep going. And one thing about the Boston Marathon, I've never actually been to any other marathons before, even as a spectator, but the energy and the people, they carried me through. Like it was, I can't even explain it, especially when if you've ran the Boston Marathon, when you turn that last corner and you turn left on Boylston Street, the energy of the crowd literally carries you. It's such an amazing experience. Anyways, I digress. So I felt like Mile 17 was a great metaphor for life. When you're in the thick of it, you're just going through it. You don't think that you can go any further, but there's just something in you that tells you like, just, keep going. That's the grit. That's your determination that you find. And, sometimes it is totally appropriate to quit what you're doing, to, throw in the towel for the day, just take a nap, take the day for yourself and start again tomorrow. Sometimes you need to completely change what you're doing and pivot and go a different direction. And sometimes you just have to find that next level, that next layer that you did not even know existed inside of you. And when you do, you shock yourself. And that's where you build that confidence and that muscle to do something else or to take the next step in your career or in your relationship or your finances or whatever it may be in school. Like you prove to yourself in those little ways, and it it goes a long way, and you don't maybe even realize it in the moment, but when you look back, you're like, oh, wow. Like, I find myself, like, when I'm running now, like the other day when I was running during a workout, I was like, whatever, like, I can run through whatever. I ran 26.2 miles in the rain with the chafed nipples and the legs. Like, I can do anything. Like, you prove to yourself, and it's so true. Like, that's what we're all here for, is the love, is the connectedness, is the ability to be in a room with people and to exchange energy. That's what it is. It's an energy exchange. So I am beyond privileged and honored to be able to be a host and to start building this community from the ground up. And I hope that you want to come along this journey with me. We're going to cover a bunch of different topics. Some may be fun and light, some may be a little bit heavier. And yeah, I just want this to be a great place and for people to feel comfortable and to just have a good time and converse. So thank you so much for being here, for listening to this. If you've made it this far, this is the introduction, the trailer, the summary of what Mile 17 is going to be. And yeah, I'm excited to see the changes that come, the things that I stick to. I have a whole vision for this. And yeah, it's going to be awesome. I also will note I am recording this in my car because I live in a 1-bedroom apartment in the Boston area, and there's really nowhere to record in there unless I'm in my closet. And honestly, like, I need light. I need to see the world. So the next best option is the car. So we're in here. This is what we got, and I'm very excited to get this going. So again, this is Mile 17. My name is Colton, and let's get this going. Thank you, everybody.